Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our ceramic lecture and workshop at Notre Dame. My name is Nikki Shao, and I'm a senior majoring in economics with a minor in Japanese here at Notre Dame.
Oh, hi, I'm Cindy. I'm also a senior major in economics and ACMS, and I've been partnering with Nikki in planning and organizing today's event.
So, this event is especially meaningful to us because my father's roots are in Jingdezhen, China, the city of porcelain. And I've always had a passion for art and culture. And that's where the idea for today's events began. So, we wanted to share China's long and vibrant ceramic heritage with the Notre Dame community. And planning for this collaboration started almost 2 years ago. So, it's really wonderful to see it come to life today. And I'd like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the Director Wang of the Imperial Kiln Museum, one of China's most renowned ceramic museums, for partnering with the Notre Dame to make this possible. And we are also deeply grateful to our sponsors, the Keio School of Global Affairs, Liu Institute for Asia and Asian Studies, the Chinese program in the Department of ECLC, and Notre Dame Beijing for their generous support. So without their help, this event would not have been possible.
Uh, we are also thrilled to have Professor Colton Land here with us today. And Colton earned his MFA in ceramics from Notre Dame in 2020, taught here as a teaching scholar from 2021 to 2025, and is now an assistant professor of arts at the University of Texas, Rio Grande. He's flying back to Notre Dame especially to lead the hands-on workshop portion after today's lecture. And now I will turn it to Colton, who will introduce our distinguished lecture speaker, Dr. Wen.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me. Good morning. It's my pleasure to introduce today's keynote speaker, Director Yanjun Weng. Yanjun Weng is the director of the Imperial Kiln Museum in Jingdezhen, China. He earned his PhD in archaeology from Peking University and completed a postdoctoral research at the University of California, Los Angeles. Since 1999, he's devoted his career to the field of ceramic archaeology, leading excavations at both the Imperial Kiln site and important folk kiln sites, as well as conducting research in the maritime Silk Road. His work has helped to systematize and deepen our understanding of China's ceramic history. Director Weng also spearheaded the creation of the world's first ancient ceramics gene bank, which uses digital technologies to collect compositional and typological data on nearly 10,000 ceramic fragments. In 2023, he initiated and now serves as the Secretary General of the International Porcelain Research Alliance, fostering global academic exchange on ceramics. In 2024, he launched a collaboration with research institutions to explore AI applications in ceramic culture, including new approaches to audience interaction and exhibition design. We are truly honored to have Director Wang join us virtually from China via Zoom to share his insights with the Notre Dame community today. Please join me in giving a very warm welcome to Director Yanjun Weng.
Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, actually, it's noon time. So, can you hear me clearly? Okay, I suppose so, because I cannot hear you except when you are we're standing in front of the microphone. Okay, should we begin? Okay, I see your gesture. Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, Professor Lunt, and the other teachers and the sponsor, and it also special thanks to Nikki to arrange this. It's my great pleasure to share with you on this topic. And yes, Professor Lang?
Excuse me, Director Wang. I'm just getting the mic so you can hear us and we can talk to you if need be.
Okay, that's great. Okay, allow me to share my screen. Okay, so I want to use this topic to talk about the ceramics, talk about the porcelain. So the preservation and the revitalization of the Imperial Kiln site in Jingdezhen, Nikki's hometown. So there will be 4 parts. We'll start with the overview, and then we talk about the appearance. The appearance as one of the cornerstone. We look into the beauty of the ceramics and also the beauty of the culture and the beauty of the present day's creation. So the Professor Lang mentioned about the ceramic gene bank, and I will talk more about it later. And we'll talk about our vision about how to build up a borderless museum, although we are still on the way to it. Okay, the first part. We know ceramic is not just a privilege of the Jingdezhen city, not China. It's everywhere. It's with us since the Neolithic age, 20,000 years ago, and it's everywhere. Like today, in Nepal, like the Bakadang, the famous Bakadang area, people still make a lot of the potteries. They still make a living on it. Like Karachi in Pakistan, people do the same way. And also in Russia, they also have an Imperial Kiln factory. It used to be known as Lomonosov ceramic factory. And in the Italy, like Faenza, and also Stoke-on-Trent in UK, they are also the famous porcelain cities, ceramic cities, and people come here not just to buy the ceramics, they also take this as their destination of tourism. And also Ansica, I'm not sure how many of you have joined it or heard about it. It's a big event every year happening in some city in the United States, but it draws attention of artists from all over the world. There are thousands of them coming to this event every year. I joined them in year 2014. So people make ceramics and they'll trade it. They started with the inland trading, use cars, use the camels, horses to transport them. But of course, the maritime transportation is the major route, and make the especially the ceramics is heavy and fragile. So the maritime trade is the key for this prosperity. And through the trade, through the cultures got exchanged. Like for example, take the popular tangled branch pattern on ceramics, especially on porcelains. They actually originated from different cultures, different materials, from pottery, from bronze, from jade, and also from the Egyptian papyrus, how they arrange it, and the Greek and the Roman, the scroll pattern, and the Indian Buddhism, honeysuckle pattern, etc. So so nowadays, what you see from the porcelains, even from the ancient porcelains, it's not just from a single country. It's actually really a blending of many different cultures and even materials and techniques. But when we talk about ceramics is a general word. There are also many substitute words like pottery. So this is a letter sent to my colleague, a curator in Toronto University. They have a museum there, wonderful museum. They're wondering about this pillow, this ceramic pillow. Is this a pottery or is it really porcelain? So we call this, the upper right corner, we call that earthenware. And the one in the middle, stoneware or celadon by the European standard. And they only the right bottom. These are actually two shards. One is still the stoneware, the celadon. The other one, the European standards, they call this a proto porcelain. So what is real porcelain? This one I hold with my fingers. I excavated them out. I excavated this one out with my own hands. And when we look at this piece of shard toward the light, you can see a beautiful pattern. And it's with the emperor's landmark. It's Yongle, made in Yongle year. Yongle, that's the third emperor of the Ming Dynasty in China. That's early 15th century. And it's surrounded by beautiful, transformed lotus leaf decorating, around its edge. So people call this type of ceramics porcelain. It's because it's a high fire. It's transparent. The whiteness is high, and the water absorption rate is low. So the finest porcelain was devoted to the royal court. Like the Palace Museum in Beijing, they have more than 360,000 pieces of a porcelain collection. And 95% of them coming from my hometown city, the majority of them coming from the Imperial Kiln site. And you see some of this excavated by our institute, like the one in the middle, the top in the middle. This is a chicken cup, half-finished chicken cup. The finished chicken cup was auctioned at the price of 280 million Hong Kong dollars about 10 years ago. And they also make a lot of other stuff, like on the right bottom is cricket pot for fighting crickets, keep fighting crickets. And the one on the upper right is a dish decorated with Tibetan characters. So that's the emperor's gift to the monks. And the one in the lower middle is a very unique shape. It's made for the Islamic world in the Middle East, but now the Arabian guests coming to our museum, they cannot even recognize the function of it. And in the United States, we also see many interesting collections, like the one at the Sackler Museum in Washington, D.C. If you go there, you will see they have two pieces put together. The curator, they recognize this as the porcelain as an imitation of the metalwork. The metalwork was made earlier. It's in the mid of the 13th century and found at Mosul in Syria. And the porcelain one was customized as a gift, as a national gift from the royal court in Beijing to the foreign neighbors in the Middle East. And the royal porcelains were not for sale. They were not made for sale. They were made for the daily use of the royal family, but more importantly, for the ritual ceremonies of the nation, like the worship of the god, the worship of the ancestors, the great celebration, and also the gifts, like I just mentioned. And the other very important influence it had is the design, the advancement of material and technology influenced the civilian kilns a lot. Like the picture you see here is a recent shipwreck we found under the deep water. It's more than 1,500 meters deep in the ocean. You see more than 100,000 pieces of porcelains lying on the seabed. And as I said, we can see many interesting connections of this cargo with the Imperial Kiln products. So the map here you're seeing now is a satellite map of the Jingdezhen city. So it's a green. If you take a flight, you look down, you see a lot of mountains, hills, and there's a lot of rivers. And this natural environment provided the city rich source of the clays and firing wood. There's a famous clay with the highest quality in Jingdezhen. It's called kaolinite. There's a mountain there called Kaolin Mountain. So the kaolinite becomes a international phase for this material. And the city has been using wood as the firing material for the kilns, for the porcelain production for over 1,000 years, and produced more than a billion, maybe billions of porcelain pieces. And there's a couple of rivers, important ones. You see the East River on the above, and the South River on the below, and there's the important sub river we call South River. These are the origins of the Jingdezhen ceramic production. They started from there. The people getting to make this in their spare time, aside from the farming seasons. But little by little, they made fine porcelains, and so the industry, the trade requires a more concentration. So people come into the Chang River. This one. The Chang River connects to the Poyang Lake, the greatest freshwater lake in China, and the Poyang Lake gets into the Yangtze River, the longest river in China. And there, once you are there, you can go basically everywhere. You can go to the east, to Shanghai. Before you reach Shanghai, you can go up. You taking the canal to Beijing City, to the Royal Court, and you can also to the seaport. Go east to the seaport to have it shipped to the world. And also, people they use the transportation of a combination of inland and on land and on water. So here in the middle of this Chang River, that's the Imperial Kiln. And we have done about 40 times of excavations on this site. And still, right now, it's still a live archaeological park. We call it archaeological park. So people come here to tour around, but meanwhile, we still carry out excavations somehow every year, small scale. And here you see each year line indicates one time excavation. And this here, you see some kiln, some arch-shaped buildings. That's our museum. And for each excavation, nowadays we can document all the process, and then also including the porcelain shards, porcelain pieces found on each location. So here, this picture shows how we go down. So this is a picture of a nowadays Imperial Kiln site. You see the pagoda in the middle on a green hill. This green hill was made of the dumped shards of the Imperial Kiln factory. So so can you imagine it? The production was so huge, their rejections were so high that they piled up this hill. And that's the Chang River. You look away, you see the Chang River, and here again the arch buildings are our museum. And the very intriguing fact is, if you look at this tabletop made 150 years ago, and you look at today's Imperial Kiln site, you find a lot of similarity there. You find a lot of things not changed. For example, since we don't have much time, if you look at the middle, we see the production center of this Imperial Kiln. We see people are doing the wheel throw. They do the forming of ceramics, and some people do the glazing using a bamboo made tube to do the blow. This is for the underglaze painting, and then to the glazing. This is for the drying. They need to get dried before doing the trimming, doing the firing. And this is the one I indicated as the use a bamboo tube for the blow glazing. And some pieces need to be fired maybe twice. So after the high fire, people want to add more color, add more strokes, more figures on it. Then they do the overglaze painting, and then do the low fire again, like this one. This one is usually about 600 to 800 centigrade. But the high fire can reach up to 1300 degree. You see, like this chimney. You see a lot of chimneys on this tabletop. The chimneys with black smoke. And what's not changed are the people as well. You still see a lot of craftsmen in Jingdezhen. It's not just show. They use the handicrafted ways to make the porcelains and make a good living. And a lot of people coming from outside of the city, we call them Jing drifters. Jing, that's the first character of the Jingdezhen city. We call Jing drifter, meaning people come here to take a residency. They come and go, but many of them come and they choose to stay longer and or come back often. There are about 60,000 Jing drifters taking residency in Jingdezhen every year, and 5,000 of them coming from the other countries instead of China. And that tabletop is now an interesting tourism site. We based on the original tabletop, we made this device that people can take in pictures through the gap. It's like a front view, middle view, and far view, and through the views, people can take pictures having him or herself with the pagoda, with the dragon barrel hill made of those rejected shards as the background. So people feel they are having this kind of time traveling. And also a 2D with a 3D pictorial effect. Okay, so let's talk about this appearance. Talk about its, we think we think it's good, for people to like something by its appearance first, and then maybe fall in love with it by its intelligence, by its the wisdom. So we tried to revitalize the Imperial Kiln. We try to have this integrated with the historical site community around it. The artist can come here to propose their ideas. Like this one is a balloon, a huge balloon, inspired by an artist when he see the micro view on a colored porcelain. In our museum, it's becoming a famous taking selfie pictures, a place for that, and famous for that. And around this site, into the community, we have a lot of the cultural heritage like this. So we on the right hand side, people can use the digital device like this to imagine, to visualize the kilns, when they were complete, and when at that time how they were used for firing porcelains. And on the left side, you see some modern works were decorated onto the kiln bed. And people can tour our museum, see exhibitions, and they can also have some collaboration with our ancestor. We are ancestral craftsmen to do some secondary work, like this one, like use the tangled branch pattern to create a new pattern and have them printed on a t-shirt. And this was made possible because of the ancient ceramic gene bank we are working on. Let's watch a shot. Let's watch a video clip first. Okay, sorry about the Chinese captions, but the last one I can translate for you. It says, one shard, one world. Okay, this is a typical 4-in-1 set of our scientific specimen of the ceramic gem bank. We have the shard, and from the shard, we have the sectional specimen. We have the powder specimen from the clay body, and we also have slice specimen. So different types of specimen can adapt to different equipments, adapt to the purpose of the different information retrieving. So that's why we want to have this ready in a large scale, covering from late Tang Dynasty in China, that's 9th century, all the way to the early 20th century. So it's about 1,200 years covering this time of period, and all types of ceramics, like the blue and white, like the white glazed, red glazed, enameled, all kinds of techniques and all kinds of the shapes, bowl, dish, jar, whatever. So have things ready at the warehouse, at this bank, and all the researchers from all over the world, they can submit their proposal to borrow it, to test it. That helps a lot for us to have a more in-depth information collection, and some of them can be transformed into today's use. We call it 8+X, the standard of information collection. 8 is what I just described, plus the shape, decoration, the pattern, and the color, and the X meaning extended information, like the corresponding collections all over the world. What other museum may have, like this cricket pot. This is a cricket pot made in the mid of 15th century, fighting the ancient Chinese. For some period, they like to watch the cricket fighting. And the Shende Emperor was famous for that, but there was no evidence from the past, from the handed-down collections, and until we excavated a lot at the Imperial Kiln site. And except what we have, the only museum have it is the Japanese Taguri Museum, and also Suzhou Museum in China, and the Palace Museum. Even the Palace Museum in Beijing don't have it. They have a one of a later period. So we want to connect to the all the museums, and even to the other archaeological findings from shipwrecks, from the inland excavations, and the ceramic gene bank. Based on that, we are currently working on an interesting program. We call it Clay Reborn. It's basically like an interesting fantasy world. All the creatures were made of porcelains, were made of porcelain shards. Like this is called xuanwu in Chinese culture. It's like a turtle shape, but with a snake around it. So it's all the parts were made of porcelains. We use celadon color with celadon porcelains for him, but all the size, the different types of the porcelains, the color, when artists or even AI do the work, do the design, they need a good reference of the data, and that data can come from the gene bank. Okay, number 4, our vision as a borderless museum. Well, Coco, it's one of the favorite movies of me and my daughters. We liked it a lot, especially some interesting and impressive quotes, like they say, the real death is that no one in the world remembers you. So death is not the end of life. Forgetting is. So we don't want our culture to be forgotten. So we have the museum into the community. For example, this is a donation from the GMAT Museum in France, in Paris. They have the interesting virtualized device from a porcelain dome in Santos, Portugal, and that Santos Palace is now the place where the French embassy is at. So that's why they can do the digitalize of those of that building of that those porcelains. Those were where's porcelain from, Jingdezhen? It dated from late 15th century all the way to the early 18th, with 272 pieces of them on it. So we have them when we had this donation of the digital data, we built this device and to have them into the community, into a civilian kiln site, which could be one of the kilns who fired some of these porcelains. And we open our backstage space to the people, not just the neighborhood, but also the visitors from outside the city. And we curate our exhibitions also based on this vision. And not just the expand the space into the neighborhood, into the people, whoever cares about the Imperial Kiln, but also the online community. So we had this WeChat program. WeChat is like a WhatsApp, maybe popular in your city. So we have this little program to be launched, so people can play the role of a craftsman, of a kiln worker, or a kiln owner, or a businessman who come to trade, or the official supervisor, and they can tour around. They can come to see our museum exhibition, and they can make friends. They can also create works. Yeah, if you happen to have WeChat, you can search the with the keyword mystery of blue and white, and see if you can enjoy it. Okay, now the spotlight on this duck. This is a very popular collection in our museum. People like it. This duck was made 550 years ago, and this is the only such a porcelain made antique in the world, and nowhere else have it. And we have had those shards excavated from the Imperial Kiln site, and nowadays we have restored 6 of them. This is an incense burner. It's made with two halves, the upper half and the lower half. You can open it, and you can put the when you use it, you are supposed to fill the lower half with the incense ashes, and into the ash you bury a burning charcoal, and onto the charcoal you put a sheet of silver, and above the silver you have a fragrant peel, and then the nice smell can come out from the mouth of the duck. So it's so elaborated. It's so it's like a genius design, but for some reason, at least these pieces have never made their ways to the courtyard. So they were not successful, and we call this duck plain tricolor. Plain meaning no red, so red is considered as meaty color. It's not, and the red in Chinese slang meaning popular, also meaning successful, popular. So this color were never successful in their time, and were never red with the color. So the young people like it, because this color is talented. The color is of the Imperial Kiln. It's of the emperor's taste. It's gifted. But it's not successful. So young people think they are like them. They see into the ducks themselves somehow. So they want to give this duck a chance, as a second chance to be successful somehow. It doesn't, maybe not necessarily go into the palace, even though we did this somehow. I'll tell you later. And as at least it's the heroes. They are the heroes in their eyes somehow. And some details. If you look at this duck, look at the eyes. It has a very beautiful and unique flowery shape of eyes. You see that? And you see in the middle of the eyes a cobalt blue. It's cobalt blue dot. And the tricolor, you see on its front and the back of his neck, that's blue. And on its feather, it's turquoise. It's a peacock green or peacock blue. And on its base, we call it grass green. So the blue or green. So you have 3 different types of. And the yellow, you look at the beak, it's bright yellow, but on its sides of the neck, it's earthen yellow. And the purple, you see on the top of its base, the purple. So it had many elaborated details. You also look at the carving. If you look at the carving of the feather. So these ducks, we restore them at our labs. We first of all need to find out what's wrong with them. What kind of pollution it may suffer from. What kind of so-called disease it may suffer from, and then we clean them out. We do the powder work, and we fix the missing part. And make them look proud when they look into the mirror. And we give them a new name. Sui Sui Yang. In English, Dr. Sui. Doc, and doctor is sounds similar to doctor, meaning is talented. And we open this data set to all the public, and people come here to with very interesting proposals. Okay, like the flowery eyes, how they can be elaborated, like the feather, like the cloud shape window on its base, its paw, and also to guide more young people to do creative works. We show them the possibility of some examples. And they can be used in digital way, in internet way. It can be an archaeologist. A duck can be a official supervisor duck. A duck can be an artist duck, and it can be a dragon transformed duck. It can have many interesting expressions. And not long ago, we had this contest about more than 10,000 students, undergraduate and graduate from the 700 university and colleges all over the country joined this contest. And here are some of the their artworks. We could rename the contest as the Dr. Sui and his friends. Here are some of the creative products. I like this alarm clock. So digital asset. Of different seasons. Any animation. Okay, those are just the short clips of the some of the good works. So based on the what we have and what vision we are holding in our mind, we connected our peers around the world and had this Society of International Ceramic Studies founded 2 years ago. And now we have more than 200 members from 22 countries and regions, including United States, and 10 plus workstations all over the world now. Basically, it's just the institutional members providing the resource and convenience to the individual members so they can start their research in a more efficient way. And we are doing we're working on a project called the World Ceramic Interactive Map. That's basically a database with the map as the interface. And all the museums and the archaeological institutes or relevant universities, they can use this to their best interest. And also we encourage you contribute more and you can enjoy more. So you're all invited to come to Jingdezhen City, to come to Imperial Kiln as our VIP guest, and to see as to enjoy. Okay, thank you so much, and questions are welcomed.
All right. Thank you, Director Weng. So now we've got about 10 minutes or so for questions that any of you may have for Director Weng.
Yeah, thank you so much for this fascinating presentation. I was particularly curious about some of the images that you show. For example, that pairing two pieces, one from Jingdezhen and one from Mongolia, and the similarity in the motifs. And then there was a slide you show how the patterns were also printed on T-shirts. That looked so Islamic, so I actually searched for it because I was actually just in south of Spain. This is someone I was like, that looked exactly what I spent a lot of time looking at this summer. And then also isn't the blue itself also something that reflects cross-cultural influences, from the Mongol practices? Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, what your question is?
Yeah, so the question is, can you also say something about, the cultural influences and how these, for example, the Central Asian blue pigment, and how, for example, in this image, how did the people in Jingdezhen get the idea of the Mongol version, or was it all accidental?
Oh, it's a good question. Yeah, okay. People did this not for the cultural exchange purpose. They do this as making a living. What's good for the market. You have to make these things that the other side of the world like it, so that you can export it. So and that's how people evolve their exchange, how the world becomes so diversified and bonded somehow, like this, like in our case with the ceramics as their tie. So it's not accidental. It's I can see the necessity, or even the serendipity. Okay, more questions?
Hello, thank you for your talk. My question is, when you dig up these artifacts from your archaeological sites, I imagine a lot of them are broken into pieces. You showed a picture of some of those pieces. Could you elaborate on what the process is for reconstructing these pieces? Maybe talk about a bit about the scientific analysis, and then how you know what piece goes where and that type of stuff.
Sure. Yeah, we as archaeologists specialized in ceramics, basically our daily work is to like to be a scavenger. We to kiln size, different from other types of remains, relics, as the site people dump their it's a site. It's actually the remains people dumped. People dumped those failures, those maybe experimental ones, the rejected ones, and they were all broken. People break them purposely, especially in the Imperial Kiln site, because the emperor has a high standard, and those rejected pieces are not allowed to enter the the civilian markets or civilian use. So that makes our Imperial Kiln site even more broken. So we're like scavenger to do this, and then once into our lab, we by the way, we have more than 20 million pieces of such shards, and so we need to do the puzzle work first, and then we have to use a very careful way to clean them and to stick them together, and study how to make up the missing parts, both the body and the pattern. And once we done this, we send most of them, of course, to the museum, and not just our museum, but also to exhibitions collaborated with other museums. And then, by the way, the reports, we publish archaeological reports based on these materials.
Hello, thank you so much. I'm wondering, because these pieces, I'd imagine they're very delicate, and there'd also probably and they're also sometimes very old. So what are some of the pieces of information which are hard to get? Is it ever hard to date them, or is it ever hard to put them back together? What's one of the most challenging processes to do?
Yeah, it's a very good question. Well, the put them back together, that's the hardest part, because it's not just the one piece. It's thousands of them dumped at a same site, and also is a site which have been used for more than 1,000 years. People keep building something there. People keep building a new factory there, new workshop there, and by doing this, they interrupted the earlier layer of their their ancestors. So that makes the job even more difficult. Luckily we have many experienced colleagues, who just based on their experiences, we're lucky to have them. But that's not enough. We are now using AI. We're now developing AIs with, of course, with other the advanced institutes to develop some program to assist our puzzle works. And that's the number one. Number two is how do you make up the missing parts? How to cure it without making without damaging it, without damaging not just the material but also the outlook. In antique market, people tend to use a lot of fakes to cover the missing part, and so by doing this, they need to cover the existing real textures, and that's not the way we would use. So within such a constraints, we still want to make the restore the vessels to look beautiful.
Is it exclusively porcelain that you find in the Imperial Kiln site, or is there also earthenware and stoneware?
A good question. We've in Jingdezhen, in the Imperial Kiln site, we almost everything is porcelain. Although some were made as imitations of stoneware, like Celadon, like the famous Guan Kiln Celadon, famous about 900 years ago. 900 and 800 years ago, is in green glaze. That's considered a stoneware. So, but it's famous even in ancient times. So the Imperial Kiln of the later period, they imitated those. But the clay was of so high quality that they cannot naturally come out with the color as red or purple on its mouth and foot. So they have to add such color, later after firing. But those were natural color of those Celadon kilns.
Hi there. Thank you so much for your talk. I was just curious about where historically the intersection between the form and function of porcelain like this lies. I noticed that there was that beautiful tabletop you showed, and I wondered if that was a functional piece or if these porcelain objects were used more as object pieces and gifts and things like that. Thank you.
Sure. Take this page as for example. Here, all these wares were functional. Even this one in the middle, the white glazed one, we don't know how. So it's still controversial. But I think it's for a liquid type of making fragrance smell. But it's still controversial. But no doubt it's functional. But there are some things like the one that we call it tabletop. We're not sure it's tabletop. Maybe it's just decoration, some decoration piece people can hang somewhere, laid somewhere against the wall. So there are pieces purely decorative, but the most pieces we see as functional, even those like these ways on the left corner. We call the plum shape. We call it plum ways because the mouth is so small. It can only allow the a very thin branch of plum flower into it. So that's how the name comes from. and it's actually a vessel for containing wine. So the mouth needs to be small, so the wine cannot easily be vaporized.
Okay, thank you, Director Weng, for that fascinating talk. That is all the time we have. Please join me in giving a warm round of applause for Director Weng.
Yeah, it's my great pleasure, and I know you will have a workshop on the practicing the duck. So enjoy it.
Yes, thank you. All right, everybody, you are free to leave. We have a second part of this workshop here taking place right across the foyer. If you're in the hands-on workshop, please stick around and meet us kind of kitty corner across through the foyer here.